Now, should you take Propecia? Propecia, otherwise known as Finasteride, it's one of the primary drugs or modalities of treatment in the hair loss game. How popular is it? I would say maybe 100 million people take it worldwide, if not more. In the US alone, I believe there's 10 million daily users of Finasteride. It's one of the top 10 or top, 20 or whatever, top 5 drugs taken. Extremely common. And it's taken for a reason. Now, Finasteride is something which, what does it do? Well, it's going to lower your DHT levels. Now, what's DHT? DHT, dihydrotestosterone, which I'm going to call DHT going forward because I don't care about pronouncing the full name. I don't have the time. Essentially, if you have a gene which is sensitive to DHT, which 66% of males do, it's going to thin your hair. So it means each hair cycle, your hair is going to get progressively thinner and progressively weaken. And eventually, it's going to grow so thin it's not visible to the human eye. And eventually, it's going to stop growing completely. And at that point, say hello to slaphead life, because that's where you're going to be. Now, how many men experience hair loss? 66% of all men by age 40 will experience some hair loss. So think of that. 2 in every 3 male you know is going to experience hair loss by age 40. That's unbelievable how common hair loss is in society these days. Now, undoubtedly, there's going to be people saying, oh, Finasteride, it had this negative impact or this negative impact on me. X or Y. 99% of people who take Finasteride never have any side effects. And the 1% that do, often these side effects are halted when they halt treatment. And often they have co-mental issues such as anxiety or depression, which they, instead of spending their attention on other areas of their life to improve it, getting outside, going to the gym, going on dates, etc., they will blame this one drug as the reason that they're depressed or the reason they're anxious. So it just becomes the be all and end all for why their life isn't how they want it to be, instead of looking at it more logically. So overwhelmingly, you're going to be fine if you take Finasteride. 999 people out of 1,000 will be fine taking Finasteride. Personally, I know a lot of people who take Finasteride, no side effects. My experience, I had a side effect of Finasteride, but it's not negative. It's essentially, when you're having sex, when you're ejaculating, whatever you're going to call it, you're going to have increased semen, increased ejaculatory loads. Now, depending on who you're with, that's could be viewed as a good thing. So I don't think that's a side effect in the common negative sort of connotations that side effect has. And what's the positive outcome of Finasteride? Well, people can talk it, but can you walk it? So I'll just give a quick little glimpse of my hair. I've been on Finasteride since 2018 February. We're now at 2024 January, coming to the end of January. So I've been taking it for nearly 6 years. No drama. Very easy. Take a pill a day and you're good to go. Do I take other drugs and stuff for hair loss? 100%. But I'm going to get into that in future content. But I would say Finasteride is the primary drug for reducing DHT levels and halting your loss. And then from that point, you can rebuild. At that point, you can regrow. Maybe get a hair transplant or a minoxidil, etc. But you got to halt that hair loss. And Finasteride is the best drug on the market for that, for the majority of men. Now, hair loss. If you are experiencing hair loss, which you could be, or maybe you're just watching it to future-proof for yourself, which is a smart investment, you're gonna be likely asking your friends and family, am I losing my hair? Does it look okay, etc.? Now, what are they going to tell you, being your friends and family? They're concerned about your emotional well-being. So they're going to say, nah, it's okay, you're not losing your hair, what are you worrying about? Oh, you're good looking, it doesn't even matter. And yet, the reality is, there's 1% of the male population that can look better or as good bald. It's the exception, not the rule. Your Jason Statham, the man has elite facial hair, and because he has quite a large forehead, it actually works that he's lost his hair. It kind of balances out with the facial hair being so extreme. Having a larger forehead, obviously when you lose your hair, your forehead's going to get bigger or more is going to be shown. It kind of balances out his extreme facial hair and very masculine jaw. So that's not you, bro. I'm sorry, that's not you. That's not the majority of people. Same with The Rock. Are you 6'4", 250 pounds? No. So stop trying to justify the fact you're going to look okay with hair loss by using these 2 or 3 people that you name every time. Vin Diesel, Bruce Willis, etc. Like, bruh, let's be honest. Let's live in reality instead of dying in delusion. Now, you're also going to be in a panic state if you're experiencing hair loss. You're going to be in meetings and you're going to be on dates and interacting with people, and you're going to have no idea what they're even talking about, because you're going to be in your head thinking, fuck, my hair, that's departing quickly. What am I going to do? You're going to be emotional, anxious, slightly depressed. That's what happens. You know, when something is out of your control, and it does have a big determinant on how the opposite sex treats you, or, you know, if you're into the same sex, they treat you, your mates, your family, etc. Because it's like your first kind of sign of aging in a way, hair loss. It's going to affect you massively. And the majority of men, they kind of suffer alone with a hair loss experience. They don't share it. They just get worse and worse. They go to the barber, and each time they're kind of saying, you know, how's my hairline? The barber doesn't want to hurt their feelings, so the barber says, yeah, it's good, it's good. You know, and it starts going back and back, and starts getting thin and thin. And then eventually they got to shave it. And at that point, how do you think they feel? You realize your best years are likely behind you, at least aesthetically. And whether we like to admit it or not, whether people would vocalize this or not, you know, how you appear, how you present, how you are visually has a massive impact on how people treat you. It's as simple as that. Any literature done by any objective medical researcher or human behavioral expert would clearly exhibit that. So it's something to be mindful of, the importance of your appearance, and hair does play a big part in that. So it's something you want to get onto, it's something you want to address. Now, if you want to be cautious and conservative, which is the approach I took, so before I started taking Finasteride, I had baseline medical testing done, just basic blood tests, so free tests, DHT levels, testosterone levels, just so in case anything does happen, I can measure what my blood test would be like at the point of if I experienced negative side effects compared to what it was before I took Propecia. Now, the overwhelming majority of men do not take pre-Finasteride blood tests. So it's up to you, but it's just something you could do. Obviously, I'd probably advise, if you want to, you can see a medical professional if they have experience in the hair loss field. A lot of GPs have no clue what they're talking about when it comes to hair loss, because they're very general when it comes to medical treatment and medical knowledge, and they just see hair as not a really big deal. In fact, I know of some GPs, and I actually went to one myself, who you tell them you have hair loss and they say, hey, just shave it. It's not the end of the world, bro. So you have to realize that not everyone wants the best for you. So if you want to be the best you can be, and hair loss is something you value, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the research, and you have to go the extra mile to get the best outcome. It's as simple as that. It's like anything in life in that way. So don't ask your family and friends. They're going to lie to you 100%. Go to a medical professional or do your due diligence to a significant degree. Now, there are other modalities for hair loss treatment. Oral minoxidil, laser light helmets, laser light treatment, hair transplants, all valid, all good things that I'll go into in time in future content. Right now, though, I just want to kind of keep it at the the genesis of what you need for hair loss. If you're experiencing it, the treatment, that's finasteride. That's going to halt the loss very likely. 90% of all men who take it in their first year, hair loss is halted, and often that will keep that hair loss at that level for a very long time based on the literature. So it's definitely the first port of call. Now, if you have any questions, if you want to correspond with me further, I'm happy to help you out. I'm happy to help you become the best you can be, here being a part in that. My Instagram is Brewster, BREWSTER 563. So follow me, and hey, I'll help you out and I'll help you get the best outcome for yourself. And yeah, just keep going. You're going to get there one day. Let's go.